Welcome back.
Welcome back. Jose is on his AirPod mic. He decided to return back to the great state of Oklahoma
We got him.
Yep, I did not
for a
have a
little
choice,
while.
but I am here.
Oh, you act like you're not excited to be here.
As you sip on
There's a lot of fun stuff happening.
You were
in my
definitely
next
excited to come
Week
here.
of life. Be a good time. It'll be a good time.
For sure. How about tomorrow's basketball game?
Can't effing wait.
I mean, let's not even talk about football, I mean, some people might be upset, but Oklahoma is the number 7 basketball program in the country right now. Jose, I've got to ask, are you bought in? Do you believe?
I'm closer to believing, yeah.
If they beat North Carolina tomorrow, does that push you over?
No, North Carolina kind of stinks.
Oh my god.
They're the number 11 team in the country.
There's nothing this team can do.
Overrated. But the one thing I do think will help Oklahoma tomorrow is because even though it's in Charlotte, which whatever, I get that it's a Jumpman Classic and all, but it's at 9:00 local time for them. Hopefully the crowd is a non-factor for them. So hopefully it's a non-factor, and it kind of just evens the playing field there. Because if it was any earlier, guaranteed there's a lot of blue out there.
There's still going to be a lot of blue out there. They're still going to show up.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's been a little while since Oklahoma basketball has been this competitive and this good.
We're a basketball school.
Since Buddy Hield.
We are a basketball school.
I hate Jose and his negativity too, Eric.
Yeah.
It's not negativity.
It is negativity.
Look, you guys said they were good last year, and look where they ended up. Didn't even make the. You've
been shitting on OU basketball.
I don't know if we ever stated that Oklahoma basketball was good last year.
Oh, I'm telling you guys, I said
I wasn't even here for most of basketball season. I don't think.
You're here for the back half of it.
I probably said we were good. I always say we're good. I'm a sunshine pumper. You're a negative Nelly.
But I am probably a week away from buying it fully. But then they're going to break my heart, and it's going to hurt.
Yeah, so you have to start 13-0 and probably be number 5 in the country before Jose will believe that you're good.
You want to talk about sports breaking hearts? Be a Dolphins fan, man. It's the worst thing in the world.
I will. Jen made a good point, and yeah, I mean that you're just asking to get your heart pounded on if you're a Dolphins fan. But Jen made a good point. This team is way more athletic. Last year, it looked like they were trying to field an '80s basketball team. This actually looks like an up-to-date roster. Javian, I can't remember his last name. Is it McCollum?
CJ's brother.
Yeah, CJ's brother.
He's
not actually
really. I know he's really good at basketball. Big fan. Yeah. I think he has an opportunity to be a pro level player.
I think the Providence coach said he was like Allen Iverson. You remember Allen Iverson, which is, if you're getting comparisons to Allen Iverson, you're doing something right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, Brandon and myself went to that basketball game against Arkansas when it was in town.
I was kind of there.
Yeah, you were physically here. I mean, the biggest thing is Oklahoma is more athletic, but you've got a true, big man, that can play like John Hewley IV, and then you've also got, Sam Godwin's been good. Yeah, they're just a balanced team, and
the Thunders are good too. It's a good time to be a basketball fan in the state of Oklahoma. We're a fan of Oklahoma teams. I don't know what state's doing, but who cares about them? Hopefully they're horrible.
Oh no, they're in the bottom of the Big 12. Them in West Virginia are duking it out. But yeah, so I mean, it's a great time for Oklahoma basketball. I mean, it'll be a real true measuring stick game tomorrow. Going out to North Carolina. It's in Charlotte, but still, you're going on the road and you're playing one of the premier basketball programs in the country. That's a good measuring stick. But at the end of the day, the Big 12 is the best basketball conference in the league or in the country. So I mean, I know we're leaving the Big 12. I mean, you got quite a bit of talent. So OU's going to be well tested and ready to play in the tournament come March, which will be exciting. So we're already almost up at 80. I got to do my plug. If you're new here, be sure to like this stream. If you've been here often, obviously hit the like button. It's easy and free. Subscribe to the channel. I believe we are 51 subscribers away from is it 52?
Something like
it's
that.
50. It's 50.
We were at 51 and then got down to 52. So a couple people may have subscribed since coming in.
Yeah, so we're at 50 subscribers. We're 50 subscribers away from 6,200. Be a part of those 50. Hit the subscribe button. Turn the notification bell on so you know when we go live or when we post a video. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Apple, Spotify, and TikTok. Everything's linked in the description below.
Shirts.
And
you always forget that in your plug.
Yeah, and also
throw it in, bud.
like to buy a shirt, it's in the link. It's in the description below. And whenever we sell 100 shirts, there's going to be a free Brent Venables signed football. Brahms is elite.
Yeah, the cherry limeade.
We should get a Brahms sponsorship. If anyone's that works at Brahms is viewing.
I don't think Brahms puts cherries in their cherry limeade though. Like at Sonic. And that's disappointing.
Yeah, that is disappointing.
You can't just eat a lime.
Did you go to the gym and then went to go get a cherry limeade after working out?
Yeah, I got the chicken strip dinner.
Oh. And we'll get to football in a second, but I've been going to the gym with him for 2 days now. And Brandon's always said, I go pretty fast. Like they go, and I always thought like 40 minutes, like that's pretty quick gym sesh. Nah, we finished in 15 minutes today, and it was 3 of us.
What are you talking about? 15 minutes at the gym?
Yeah.
We did 6 lifts. 15 minutes. So it's not like we did any, we did 6 lifts, 3 sets of 10 on all of them, and finished in 15 minutes. Because we're supersetting, we're not taking breaks, we're not playing games. It's an in and out operation.
It's crazy.
I've never heard of that in 15 minutes.
What are you doing Thursday?
I don't know.
Join us.
Yeah, you had a spare 15 minutes?
Apparently.
All you need, pal.
That's all I need. Good Lord. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's fast. I think Schmitty would be impressed.
Lifting feathers, I agree. That's probably what they do. They probably just, about 5 pounds a pop.
I think we do a pretty decent job. But
yeah.
All right.
But I guess it's time to talk a little bit of football because this time a lot of things did happen.
Just a couple.
What? I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah, that's fair. Where do we want to start? Do we want to start with Oklahoma getting people or
doom and gloom?
Doom and gloom, that's where we want to start. I think that's where people like to start. So as probably many of you saw, today the announcement was made. Caden Green has committed to Missouri. It is crazy that before actually officially being in the SEC, Oklahoma already has a little brother again, and these ones might be just as annoying as the last ones, because Missouri is so. I think I actually hate it more than Oklahoma State.
No, that's ridiculous. That's ludicrous. But I do hate Missouri. No. Until Oklahoma State fans will. Oh no, OSU fans are no.
I mean, this is also somewhat of a. It's been a rivalry, though, so I'm not overly shocked. I mean, it's just been kind of gone dormant ever since Missouri left the Big 12. There was always this animosity between the two programs. And now you've got their goofball coach and this NIL, and it's, I sit back and think, I'm like, okay, so we had this case study. As an entire nation was watching college football, we were all watching Texas A&M in their approach. And I think NIL is a good thing. I'm not going to sit here and say it isn't. But the problem is when you're winning the offseason, winning the 5 stars, and you're getting the best players according to these recruiting services. I'm not saying Caden Green isn't one of the best offensive linemen in the transfer portal. I mean, he is good, 100%. But the problem is if he's coming in and making whatever he's making, It's going to rub some people the wrong way. And I think that's what ultimately what was kind of the demise of Texas A&M under Jimbo Fisher. It's, well, so-and-so's making X amount of dollars. Well, I mean, why am I not making that? And it's just this whole ordeal, and it's a fine line to walk. And I mean, we're going to see if it works out for Missouri, because they're doing it, and they're backing up the Brinks truck, whatever the number is. I don't know what it is, but they're taking care of some players. And it's just so bizarre. I never would have thought Caden Green was going to be in the portal this offseason.
No, neither. Although, did you see the whole Dylan Gabriel stuff with the with some of the Sooner Scoop guys? I think he was talking to earlier or tweeting at, because they posted a story about, or somebody posted them, I don't know, but they were saying something about how Caden Green or Dylan Gabriel was recruiting Caden Green to Oregon and all this and that. And then the news came out today, and he tweeted them with like some laughing faces and stuff, because like clearly he wasn't, and or maybe he was, and it just didn't work out. But it looks now that he wasn't, and he's kind of having his fun, saying like, I wasn't doing this. And he got a lot of hate from OU fans and for those stories and stuff. So it's a crazy time.
Some people fall for those rumors, and I think, if I remember the story correctly, like the original interpretation of it is that typically, I think the way he phrased it is, typically a quarterback is the one that communicates this stuff. And from what we've learned from the few times we've actually like gotten to speak with recruits in there and people close to them, is true. The quarterbacks are the ones that mainly communicate compensation in these situations. So Dylan, if that would have been true, right, Dylan would naturally be the person to communicate with him. I don't think that was even remotely true of how it occurred. And then David Stone even came out and said, no, that's false. Like, that didn't happen at all. So people knew exactly what happened, and they just rather believe the doom and gloom of it rather than, this kid and family seems to just be looking for the best payday, which, it is completely in their right to do so. But now Oklahoma gets to play him.
One of the Green family members pretty much said that, though. Saying like, if you were at a job and somebody offered you more money, what would you do? So it's something like that, and he pretty much said that. But it's interesting. Also, it's on Dylan, just for a quick second. Do you guys think he anticipated Oregon also bringing in Dante Moore, and now he's kind of in a quarterback battle? I think he'll win. I think he'll still be the starter, but there's some competition there now.
Yeah, I was a little shocked that they ended up getting him. I do agree. I think Dylan will beat him out. But I was not expecting it. And granted, I don't follow Oregon recruiting like, day and, all day, but it seemed odd. And but maybe it's more of the thought that DG comes in and plays for a year, and then Dante Moore is, the succession plan type deal.
It's the classic NFL bridge quarterback situation. So what Jared Goff was supposed to be for the Lions, what Tua is for whoever's next for the Fish, Mac Jones for the Patriots.
Tua's not a bridge.
We've all got him.
I wouldn't even consider.
I think Mac Jones is a bridge.
I wouldn't consider Mac Jones a bridge at all. The bridge is collapsed.
Bailey Zappi
for the Patriots. I mean, I think the one thing that Oregon and Dante is forgetting is college is not forever. It's only about 2 years, 3 years, 4 maybe. So we'll see. But he didn't use his redshirt last year, so he'll have plenty of time at Oregon, assuming he's good enough. And his offensive coordinator and play caller doesn't tell him he sucks and goes to get someone else from the portal, like Lincoln Riley did.
Yeah, that's a nightmare. We dodged a bullet there. Not gonna lie.
What about Savion Byrd to SMU? Let's just we're losing everybody. So, or I mean, we've already lost it, but they're going places now.
Yeah, I mean, Savion Byrd and Nate Anderson are both going to SMU. Not shocked with Savion Byrd, considering it was OU or SMU coming out of high school. Wish them both the best. I mean, Byrd was so inconsistent. It seemed like he had such a high ceiling, but it just never panned out. And at the end of the day, I don't think losing either one of them is probably the difference of winning a national championship and losing for Oklahoma here. So, best of luck to them, and maybe they'll look back on it and think that was the best decision they ever made and play in the ACC, right?
They are a Power 5 team now.
Or Power 4.
Power 4, yeah. Well, yeah.
That's going to take a long time to get used to.
Yeah, that feels weird.
Power 4. Trying to think who. I mean, obviously, Caden Green was the.
That one sucks. That one hurts.
If we want to talk just general transfer portal, I think the team winning it right now is Ole Miss, and it's not even close.
Yeah, they're running away with it. They're about to land Walter Nolan too. I mean, it's between Ole Miss and Oregon, but I feel like he's going to pick Ole Miss. Something in the water over there in Oxford.
The Oxford collective fund NIL fund must be pretty strong in Oxford.
That and I think Lane Kiffin's just fun.
Yeah. I think they're in win now mode too, which is weird to say in college football, but they're coming back with a pretty experienced roster, and now they're just adding what they perceive as mainly a lot of trench guys. I mean, Walter Nolan's the best interior lineman. They got, I think, a best or second best edge player out of the portal. The kid from Florida, can't remember his or know how to pronounce his name, so I'm not even going to try. I know they picked up obviously more, but those are the two that are coming top of mind because they picked up a lot.
And as much as we don't like Texas, they had a pretty solid day yesterday as far as the portal goes and flip season goes. They flipped that one kid from Florida. Can't think of his name right now. And then landed
Xavier Philistine.
Yeah, and then they landed the safety from Clemson.
Yep. Oh. And then Okie Trades bringing it up. I think that's probably the craziest one. Like, didn't seem like that was happening. Dylan Raiola, the number one quarterback, going from Georgia to Nebraska.
Yeah. Third commitment. Respect my decision through the process.
It is. Yep. Ohio State and Georgia. That kid, he lives an interesting life for being so young because he's also attended 4 different high schools.
If he's as good as advertised, I have no idea why he would make that decision.
I mean, he's a legacy at Nebraska. His dad played there, and his uncle coaches there right now, the offensive line. So, family, and I'm sure that if money, like it is for probably every single highly talented kid, is going to be a big factor. Nebraska did everything they could to make sure he was taken care of.
I'm sure they did. I mean, Nebraska is desperate to return to being relevant in college football. So I think no price is too high for them.
No. All right. So that's general college football and the doom and gloom for Oklahoma. Now we can talk about the good stuff. Oklahoma's adding kids. Seems like we're on the right track to add the talent that's needed. I guess we can start with the most recent addition in tight end. Is it Bauer Sharp?
Bauer Sharp, yeah. Bauer Sharp.
Tight end, 6'5", 250, big boy. And Brandon, I think you've done the most homework out of 3 of us on him. What do you think about him?
I think he's fun. He's a converted quarterback. So we've had our success there with guys who were quarterbacks and then tight end. I mean, Blake Bell's still playing in the NFL right now. And, he played quarterback at OU. This is kind of like the reverse of that. But I think he can do some things. You can run some trick package plays with him playing, throwing balls or doing whatever he can do. He's a big body. Wasn't super productive at Southeast Louisiana last year. I think he only had like 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. But he also ran the ball a little bit. I think he threw it a little bit. He's diverse, athletic. I mean, it's a big body need in a position of need. Because I just, as high as we are in Devon Mitchell, the kid is 17 or 18, playing SEC ball next year, which is very young. So, I mean, it's a good bridge tight end.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you can bring in a guy that's 6'5", 245, has some playing experience. Granted, it's not, at the highest level of competition, but comparing last year's, tight end transfers, like Blake Smith. I mean, Blake Smith, I think maybe had 2 career catches, maybe. And so having him, and I mean, Stogner came through the portal as well, but unfortunately, Stogner didn't end up being what we were hoping he would be. I think you add a guy that could contribute. I'm not saying he's the next best tight end at OU, but I think you're going to find that he's going to be able to play.
He should be the guy next year, I think.
Yeah, Connor, I'm pretty sure that I thought Blake Smith was a tight end, unless I am just losing my mind here. But
Blake Smith is in fact a tight end. I just looked him up to check out his weight. He is Blake Smith, at least on 24/7. I should probably actually look at the Oklahoma website. He's listed at 6'5". Here we go. OU
6'4",
website.
256.
Yeah, so a little heavier than Bauer here. I actually think this is kind of a miss for Oklahoma in the tight end position. You're bringing in a guy that is the same size as as you mentioned it, Brandon, same size as your 17/18-year-old 2024 commit. If you're looking for size, he doesn't really add much to that room that you weren't already getting. Now, if he's a really physical blocker, and again, this is definitely me just thinking about what is needed, in my opinion, you need someone that can block at that position. That's what you don't have in that room. So if he is a good blocker, then you got what you needed. You don't need someone to go out there and post, Brock Bauer receiving numbers, because that's what you got Caden Helms for. That's what you got, hopefully Devon Mitchell for. Cade McIntyre. There's people in that room. They're unproven for sure, but you also, on the other side, they haven't been given an opportunity on the playing field. It kind of feels similar to the linebacker room in 2022. You saw Danny Stutzman out there a ton because he was the most proven guy. And the couple times you saw Jaren Kanak, people definitely criticized him a ton this last season. But I think if you look at 2022, it's fair to say Jaren Kanak probably should have played a few more snaps in that season, given more playing time. And even Brent Venable said it. They just didn't play enough of the young guys to give them opportunities. It seems like the position coaches make that decision. Hopefully Finley, now that he's a play caller alongside with Luttrell, realizes, hey, I need to give these younger pass catchers in my room those chances to prove themselves on the field. But we'll see. I mean, now they have experience, but they didn't really add any size. And that's where my concern is with the pickup. Now, if he can block, doesn't matter how big he is, but he's got to be able to block to make it a valuable pickup.
And you would think the staff would know that and target someone to do that. I mean, I also think they need a pass catching tight end. I mean, at the end of the day, Devon Mitchell is elite, but unfortunately, he is 17, years old. I assume he'll be 17 since he's reclassifying, but maybe he'll be 18, by fall of next year. I just, when you're jumping up a whole grade and then you go play in the SEC on top of that's a lot when you're a young guy and you're, every year makes such a difference. And so reclassifying is good. I mean, but sometimes there are some drawbacks to it, unfortunately.
Yeah, and like Jimmy said right here, I think he's gonna be more of a receiving tight end than a blocking tight end. Maybe Cade McIntyre can hold that role down next season.
I'm hoping that Devon Mitchell has the type of impact for Oklahoma that Luke Hasz. I don't remember how to pronounce his last name. What he had to Arkansas, because he got hurt game 5. He got hurt pretty early on in the season.
He was having a season though.
Yeah, the games he had, he was basically their best player. He was the reason they looked remotely good for the games he played. So that's what I'm hoping out of Devon Mitchell, and I think he can do it. They seem to be just similarly built and similar talent-wise.
Yeah. And I saw someone also ask a little bit earlier, I think Jacob said it, yeah. Where is Evan Stewart going? If I were putting money on it, I think he's going to Texas. I don't think he's coming to Oklahoma. I think Texas is probably the landing spot for him. I think they're going to clean up. They need some wide receiver help.
They lost the whole receiving core pretty much from last year. And Worthy's gone, Adonai Mitchell's gone, and Jordan Whittington's gone, and Ford's gone too. They've lost the whole receiving core.
Yeah, so I would think Evan Stewart naturally would make a lot of sense. He's from the state of Texas. Just drive a few hours to go from College Station to Austin at this point, and so I wouldn't hold my breath. And yeah, I mean, of course, Alabama's looming, but I just feel like Texas has a pretty good shot at them, and that's where I would think. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't count out Nick Saban in anyone's recruitment if he presses them hard enough. A lot of times he'll win.
I think Nick Saban will win this one. They need wide receivers too, because they had some of their starters portal out for whatever reason. So they'll need help, especially with Jalen Milroe being Jalen Hurts 2.0 for him.
Yeah. So I don't know. I wouldn't get my hopes up or expect him to be a Sooner at any point.
Go on to Connors. Need some damn old linemen. There is 2 guys that are still out there for Oklahoma. Vandemark, guard from Michigan State.
He's crystal ball to us now as of like an hour ago.
I think he's picked up a couple of predictions now to Oklahoma of various confidences. I believe he was there this weekend on a visit. So hopefully Oklahoma can land him, because you definitely at least need the depth, even if he's not the guy playing, because Schaefer is coming back or has eligibility to be back. So I wouldn't see why he doesn't. Going to second year at Oklahoma, spots are open to take that guard spot. You'd assume that at the very least Vandemark is a depth piece that you would want and might even start. I mean, he does have experience as a starting offensive lineman in a Power 5 conference.
Yeah. But yeah, the comment's right. Just need some damn line. We could have just stopped it right there, because it's a fact. We need a lot.
Yeah. Staying on Oklahoma as far as actual, where they stand and stuff. I mean, I feel like some positive news is, the smoke with Dominic McKinley is back, with the in-home, and, Dominic is reportedly, supposed to not sign and is early national signing day, and he's planning to sign in February. You got to like that a little bit, that, he's not obviously committing to and signing to A&M. But something just tells me, I hate to be negative Nancy, but I just feel like LSU is going to come in here and they're going to, I think they're going to be able to ultimately be the landing spot for McKinley. I always felt like LSU was going to be hard to beat in the end, and I would think that LSU is going to push him hard and try to keep him at home. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean,
They have a good engineering program. It's what they need to sell them. We got one of those.
He wants petroleum engineering. I know LSU is one of the premier schools for that. I think they've got a pretty good engineering program. So,
crap. Yeah, I mean, guess we'll see. But the good thing about it is it isn't until February when he signs. And I believe it did come out on Twitter that he is taking an official visit in January to LSU. So Oklahoma and anyone else contending for him has got to manage a way to get him on their campus before he signs his letter of intent in February, because you really don't have that much time. I mean, after National Signing Day, probably not going to get any visitors for 2 weeks because, Christmas and New Year's. And then you've got 4 weeks, 5 weeks before the next round of NLI signings. It's definitely a race. And then between then, Oklahoma has their traditional junior day in late January. So they've got a lot on their plate before that, and they're going to have to find a way to get him back to Norman, or at least get the coaching staff back to him, so they can keep building that relationship.
Eric's the man.
Oh man,
I think a lot of us have had sour views of Jose.
I don't know about that, Eric. I don't know what I did to you, bud. Said I'd like to know where our new kicker is. Eric, me too. Guess the guy from Hawaii committed somewhere, which is I don't know if it was the main one or one of the guys that Oklahoma wanted, but maybe it sounds like they slow played him, and they must feel really good about Zach Schmidt going into the next year.
How can you possibly feel good about Zach Schmidt? Like, it blows my mind.
Or maybe they know a soccer player on the team that can kick the ball pretty well.
A Brandon Aubrey type guy. I mean, it worked out for Dallas, but yeah, you've got to do something. And there's time. The next season isn't for a long time, but Zach Schmidt cannot be the kicker next season.
I would certainly hope not. Unless something dramatically changes, he shouldn't be kicking for the University of Oklahoma. But yeah, thanks, Eric. That's Jose. He likes to sometimes play devil's advocate on this show. Brandon and I get too like-minded in our thoughts, and he likes to be the other side. But we got over 160, right at 160.
Shout out, bro.
Like and subscribe. Get us to 6,200 subscribers. Help us out here, and turn the notification bell on, and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Apple, Spotify, and TikTok, and buy a T-shirt linked in the description below. So
there is a Brent Venables signed football. Just waiting in the wings here. Once we hit 100 shirts sold, and someone's gonna get it.
We gotta probably figure out how many shirts we are away. Probably something we need to figure out.
I think I've been in communication with Sammy Shirts.
I have been. Let's see what else. What else has been going on in the world of Oklahoma football? I did see someone earlier, like pretty early on in the stream, call for Ted Roof's head again. Not really sure why. People just really don't like him for whatever reason. They did that. The alternative for Roof was Coach Odom. I don't know if that's even on the radar right now for Oklahoma.
No. I mean, just to go land Tackett Curtis at the end of the day. I mean, he's an elite player, and it seems like, he decommitted and followed along, or not decommitted. He hit the portal, and it seems like he's going to follow Odom, but I don't know about that one. I don't know. I feel like I feel like Roof's gonna be back. I don't really know. I mean, Oklahoma made tremendous strides. Yeah, I mean, everyone's hitting the portal out of USC. There's some reports that Oklahoma is making some moves, or at least trying to push the envelope for Dylan Evans, the defensive lineman that's committed to Texas A&M. He's been committed to Texas A&M for over a year now. And hopefully I'm saying his name right, as Dylan. I'm not 100% sure. But there's some buzz that he might not sign tomorrow, officially signed to Texas A&M. He took a took a visit to A&M with the new staff, and there seems to be a little, probably a little unsure, I would think. So if you see Oklahoma or him not sign tomorrow, you would think that Oklahoma's got a shot here, and hopefully, try to push them and see what they can do.
What about on the D line, Anton Jukong? I can't even say is the dude's name, but the Albany transfer. He's led the FCS in sacks. He won all the FCS awards. He's first team All-American over there. He was recently offered. And I think that one's pretty interesting.
Yeah, and the last Albany transfer that we talked about was Jared Verse. Do you know how good he's at? How good he's doing at Florida State?
I'm saying it might work out, man. I'm looking at, and I can't say his name. It's Juncanj or something. But Juncanj, yeah, he is a want and a need. I agree. I think he's picking up a lot of offers here recently, though. Yeah, seems like everybody's offering him.
Yeah, and another guy, that Oklahoma's been after is Chris McClellan.
That would be fun. He's from Owasso.
He is, but it seems like the longer this is dragging on, the more I'm thinking that our favorite little SEC little brother might be the landing spot.
So negative, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. They're dropping bags on these kids right now.
Yeah, and I think that's what's ultimately going to come down to for him is why he wouldn't end up, committing to OU is Missouri's NIL offer. Wouldn't that be a storyline going into the SEC and playing Missouri next year? Caden Green, Chris McClellan, and then also who was the 5-star defensive lineman? I've tried to block him out of my memory.
Williams Nwaneri.
Williams Nwaneri. All committed to, and all are all at Missouri. And then if Theo Weiss comes back, I don't know, has he announced if he's going to the league or not? Or if he's returning?
If he has, I haven't seen it.
I don't think McClellan's ending up in Norman. I hate to sound negative. I'm sounding very negative
all show.
But I just don't. I don't think Oklahoma's going to go all in on Chris McClellan. And could that possibly be the thought of some portal transfer? Or people are going to enter into the transfer portal that aren't currently in the transfer portal? And those are the guys you go all in on, i.e.
David
Hicks, maybe.
Gabe Dindy.
Gabe Dindy. Do you?
The good news for Oklahoma on the defensive line front is we should be solid there for years to come. And anybody else we get, we want them all, obviously, but there's extra pieces here. They're icing on the cake because that D line is nice. Yeah, like Mess said here, Danny Okoye had a night at that All-American game. He was sacking people. He forced a pick six on a screenplay that he blew up. The dude looked. I mean, we've had him on. We've seen how confident he is about his ability and everything. And he his first opportunity to display that, he delivered.
Yeah, he is this cycle is like Ruben Bain. I don't know if you guys remember talking about him quite a bit last cycle, but at least I really thought Ruben Bain should have been a 5-star in the cycle. His stats were crazy. Was racking up TFLs and sacks his entire high school career, and he just stuck at a higher end 4-star for sure. But with the stats he was putting up in Florida football, should have been a 5-star. Okoye is that to me for this cycle. He is putting up crazy stats. He was injured for a good portion of this season, if I remember correctly, for his high school, so he didn't get to do anything insane. But he's a guy that I think could make an argument for when he is at his best. He has just as high of a ceiling as anyone else and could be a 5-star. in recruiting rankings. Now, at the end of the day, once he gets to Norman, that doesn't matter, and he'll get the same opportunity everyone else in his recruiting class will. And he's going to be a fun pass rusher to watch.
The only knock on him is the homeschooling thing, I mean, in the small time competition ever. But friend of the show, Danny Phantom McCoy, yeah, he is a fan of the show, but or a friend of the show. But yeah, I mean, when he came on here, he told us, or he may have told us. Never mind, I don't know if I can say this. He may have told us off record, but let's just say that Nick Saban was a big fan of him when he went to visit. And if Nick Saban sold on you, you're doing something right.
McBag boy. Yeah, I don't think he is either. I think he'll go to Missouri. Him and Caden Green can ride off into the sunset together. I certainly hope he was a Sooner, but it's not the end of the world. I mean, the defensive line, if there is a difference maker in the transfer portal on the interior defensive line, if they do enter between now and, here over the next month or so, or months, Oklahoma, I think, will press.
And win.
Yeah, and win. I mean, I think part of it also is not many true, defensive line difference makers enter the transfer portal. I mean, the true player that's in the portal right now that is head and shoulders above everyone is Walter Nolan. I mean, Walter Nolan is the difference maker, but costs a small fortune, I'd imagine, in NIL.
Yeah.
And Oklahoma's not willing to do that. And, maybe Ole Miss or Oregon are. I mean, good for them. I just think that if Oklahoma finds a guy that they really like, I think they'll go all in on. And it's not the end of the world because I still think more kids are going to enter the transfer portal after the bowl season.
Oh, for sure. It happens every year.
So, this is far from over. Just because Oklahoma might miss out on a few guys right now doesn't mean they might not clean up here in the next month.
Off season.
Let's talk about the guys that Oklahoma does have, because I mean, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, I don't really think there was any decommits once a guy committed in the 20. Oh, I guess we did lose one guy a few weeks back. Who was it? Dozy.
Yeah, Dozy.
Receiver. I think he may have just seen that room pretty deep.
Mm-hmm. You didn't see too many decommitments once they got there. Once they got the guys to make that decision, so that's good. You go into signing day, we're, a few hours away. Some kids are gonna start signing them by lunchtime. Their letters of intent. Pretty good cycle for Oklahoma, and you're still not done. You got a chance for Dominic McKinley. You always have those one or two guys towards the end of the cycle that kind of pop up in the last month or so, where they sign in February.
It's solid. Obviously there's a few big fish that Oklahoma was unable to get, but at the end of the day, they did secure one of the big fish in David Stone, like the gotta have it kind of guy. But Oklahoma's done very well for themselves, and they're building a solid foundation, and this program is in a lot better of a position than it was, say, 2 years ago at this time.
I'd agree.
So, I mean, Oklahoma also got the best wide receiver in the transfer portal in Dion Burks.
Yeah, that receiver room is nice. Jackson Arnold's going to have no problem as far as talent around him between his receivers and running backs.
To answer your question, Keaton, yes. If we somehow manage to get top 3, I will shave my beard. I did forget a razor, but we'll do it as soon as I get back to Arizona, if it were to happen. But at this point in time, I hope you guys are preparing your scripts.
I was about to say, bro, if not, we got to make
video.
our, what is it, a Space Force recruiting video? That's going to be
elite.
Yeah, elite, I guess you could say that.
Yeah.
It's going to be like Trailer Park Boys, man, when they're playing
It'll
space.
run every time before the show. People are going to get to watch it.
There's got to be a time limit on, or a time frame that I could run. It's like 3 months of running that call it a day there. See, I'm saying tinfoil. I think the tinfoil hats will come out. I think that's pretty safe to assume here.
Oh my gosh, playing some space in NASA.
Here, let's take some questions here. Chuck, what do you all think Arnold is going to hold up next year with the new O-line?
That's the $1 million question.
How do you all think? Honestly, I think the O-line is going to be fine. Will Oklahoma field the best offensive line in the country? Probably not, because you're getting a whole new set of guys. But even 2 years ago, which is probably the worst in quite some time, they weren't terrible. They had some, glimpses of hope, and they got better throughout the year. Last year was definitely better than the year before, and I think going into next year, the upside is you do have, I think people assume there's no experience in that room, but you do have Sexton, who was supposed to be the starting left tackle if it wasn't for his ACL injury. You've got Jake Taylor, who has played some, Everett, who's played some. You're really only getting to see a couple of brand new guys. That comes with Spencer Brown being brand new to Oklahoma, who's an experienced right tackle, and Joshua Bates potentially being the starting center.
Friend of the show,
brand new guy. Friend of the show, Joshua Bates. But he's a quality. He was a good recruit coming out of high school, and I think the expectation was always for him to take over that center spot once Rahm went to the NFL.
You got Heath Isoda there too. Another quality
Logan
piece
Howland,
another friend of the show.
I don't know. I don't think the offensive line will be that good next year.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, dude. This dude is just.
I'm telling you,
we're not going to get anybody. Our offensive line is going to suck.
No,
we're going to lose every game next year.
Eric,
oh my gosh. That's a great question. If that's serious, would you do it, host?
Shave the beard for charity.
You have
to say no to that. You're an asshole.
Have to come off.
If you say no to that, you're kind of a bad guy, though.
Seriously.
You know what I mean?
I just don't understand why my beard has to come off. Why can't it be one of them?
Neither one of us
answer the question. Yeah, we don't have a beard to shave.
Yeah.
Grow one, then shave it.
I can't. If I could grow one, but I would.
I can't. You can't.
I'll think about it.
No, there's no thinking about it. He'll commit to it.
Yes.
What charity?
For charity, we'll do it. Yeah. That's a good question too.
What charity do you want?
I don't know. But why does it have to be me?
Because you're the only one who has a beard.
It can't be one of you guys shaving your heads.
I've done that. I'll do it again. It's no big deal.
Exactly. Eric says no one else has a beard. Yours.
All right. Yeah. I will take it into good consideration.
That means Hose is going to have no beard. Hose is going to have no beard. Me and Brum are going to be rocking tinfoil hats for NASA. The show, man.
Yes. No, so going back to the offensive line, I think that you're going to see a lot of ups and downs, a decent amount of inconsistency just because of how young it is. I felt a little bit better, obviously.
I agree with Keaton here.
Yeah.
Been negative the whole day.
I felt a little bit better with Caden Green, when he was a part of this. I don't know how much and that's the thing is, so Spencer Brown's coming in. He's been a little bit he's not been elite at Michigan State. He's been solid. You're bringing in Joshua Bates, who is really just trying to settle in the position right now, going in the bowl season. Troy Everett's been, I don't know how much, how high of a starter he's going to be. I mean, Eddie Pierre-Louis, could he come in and start?
I was about to say, I think Eddie Pierre-Louis can have a Caden Green type emergence this season. That dude, watching his tape or just the shit he does, I think he might be the scariest athlete I've ever seen, like alive ever. Like a dude that big running that fast on a track or lifting what he does in the video, like he's scary.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think you're going to see the first half of the season, Oklahoma is going to have quite a few ups and downs, and I think you'll see him become more consistent, the second half of the season. And when you're going against the SEC and you're playing against defensive linemen, I mean, think about it. Ole Miss, what happens if they get Walter Nolan? They got, was it Princely, the guy from Florida? They've got players along the defensive line, and that's Ole Miss. And it's just thinking about, and then don't even start thinking about what, Alabama's going to have.
Just play the game, man. Play the game.
I understand, and Eddie Pierre-Louis is really good. I just think you're going to. I mean, Sexton is your most experienced guy. That's a returning player on this squad, and everyone else, and you're going to play the SEC. I think we have to have our expectations set appropriately. I think the offensive line is going to be great year 2, especially if you get Eddie Pierre-Louis starting, and then if you get Jacob Sexton starting and maybe Josh Bates. I mean, you could have a lot of returning starters in 2025. I just think there might be some growing pains, and it might be
what also benefits the offensive line is how good this receiving core is around the quarterback here, because they don't, in theory, with how good the receiving core is, they shouldn't have to pass. I mean, at least in pass protection plays, they shouldn't have to pass protect very long. The ball should be coming out quickly. The guys should be creating separation. There's really not a weakness along the receiving core, and that is going to benefit the O-line a lot.
It will, and it'll make Jackson Arnold's life easier. Jackson Arnold's just going to have to get the ball out of his hands very quickly, and just scheme it like what Mike McDaniel does for Tua. I mean, get the ball out in 0.2 seconds, and you can't be touched.
If only we can borrow Tyreek Hill, that Western Alabama graduate.
Yeah, I agree. Wouldn't that be something pretty cool to bring him back, the Western Alabama guy?
We have our own version of Tyreek Hill. We have 2 of them, actually, Brennan Thompson and Andrell Anthony, and both should be healthy going into next season.
And Burks is pretty damn quick too. You're forgetting to throw him in there. That dude is a burner.
My bad.
And fuck, Jaquez is a burner too. I mean, I don't know if he's gonna see the field again just because how deep that room got, but there's a lot of talent there.
And we can't forget. I mean, break it, nail TV. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I didn't read that correctly. We did get the best player in the country at the offensive line position.
Very slept
True.
on.
My argument is, going in the SEC, do you really want 2 or 3 true freshmen starting for you?
I want Eddie Pierre-Louis to be at least one of them.
Well, yeah, it's one thing to have one true freshman start. It's another thing when you have 2 and 3. It might pose some challenges.
I think you can look at Texas and be okay where Oklahoma could be if they ended up having to start that many freshmen. I don't think that would actually happen, where Oklahoma has to play 3 true freshmen. But if I remember correctly, in 2022, Texas had to start quite a bit of young guys or first-year starters. They weren't the best, but they were pretty good. And then going into year 2, they are one of the better offensive lines in the country.
Yeah, but they weren't the best, and they were playing against the Big 12. So
they held up decent against Alabama, though. They lost, but that wasn't a game
should have
that
beat
they
Alabama.
ran in. Like, I get what we're talking about. We're going into the SEC. Yes, it's a better conference, but their top end is better. Not
and we're playing top end talent too.
How excited are you guys to watch Jackson Arnold in the bowl game? Because I don't want to hear Brum be negative any longer. Oh, never mind. There's room for negative here. How many picks, Brum?
That's what I was going to say. How many picks do you think he's going to throw? 2,
7,
3, 4, 5?
He'll probably just throw 1.
That's negativity. The right answer was 0, dude.
The right answer is 0.
I mean,
Jeez, 0. Connor M says 3 too. He's drinking this 2 fumbles. You and Connor M are drinking the same Kool-Aid right now.
I don't think there's anything wrong with being living with and probably expecting 1 turnover.
Sunshine pump.
Until we actually have to dive into, because I'm pretty sure Arizona's defense is pretty bad. Their offense is really good, though.
They're a good team. I'm very excited for that game. Very excited for that game.
Brum's time of the month.
Seems like it might be. Hopefully next Tuesday you're not like this.
Yeah, next week might be better for me.
It'll be our bowl game prep video. It'll be 2 days out from the game. We'll be excited.
Didn't say 10. Yeah, I'm thinking more like a dozen. 12 turnovers.
I think he's going for 300 too. I really do. I'm going to go two passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown for J.A. in his first, real start.
Yeah. I don't know, guys. I think it's 51-21.
Well, we know Brum's score prediction for next week.
We need a Brahms break.
I think I do. Captain Negative over here.
Get you a shirt.
Overall, I think Oklahoma, going back to the topic for this week, Oklahoma's done well. Recruiting for this cycle, pretty chill. I mean, if you going a year ago exactly, we were still talking about for the 100th time in the 2023 cycle, is Peyton Bowen going to flip? This time we don't really have one of those guys. EPL was the closest one, and it wasn't drama. It was just you didn't know what he was doing until he did it.
It just took his time. Yeah, there was no 8 different commitments from him.
I'm kind of thankful for that.
That was something else.
Yeah,
but Peyton Bowen. Peyton Bowen's a star, but he put us through something last cycle.
But the one guy I'm watching tomorrow is Dylan Evans, the Texas A&M commit along the defensive line. He's number 10 defensive lineman in the country, according to 247. I'm curious to see if he signs with A&M. Obviously, if he signs, it's over. But if he doesn't sign with A&M, so you're telling me there's a chance with OU there. I hope you're right, Steven.
So do I. And this one. Get them both. We want both of them.
And then the loss of Chris McClellan would be an afterthought at that point if we got both of those
think
guys.
About it.
Yeah. I think you put it perfectly earlier, Brum. There's not really a difference maker where you feel the need. Okay, Oklahoma needs to pay whatever's asked of them to win this one. Like, I get why people want Chris McClellan, and he's good. He's big. He would help fill up 2 planes, but you don't look at him. You're like, yeah, he's going to make things happen for this defensive line.
Yeah. No kidding. Blur the bed back there. It does look pretty nasty.
I'll have it made next week.
Yeah, you better.
Haters.
Show some professionalism, why don't you?
How about that? This feels like we're back at AIT when I had everything blurred out there.
Look at that. I would say I'm only negative about the basketball team, Eric. You're usually pretty positive about the football team. Usually.
Yeah, BL. I'm thinking about taking the Maine Black Bears in November, probably to win by 3 touchdowns against OU. That's kind of what I'm feeling.
You know how weird that's going to be still, though, next year when we're playing November football, week whatever is 10 or whatever, and Maine Black Bears are coming to town? That's going to be an adjustment.
It's going to be, we're going to be chanting the SEC.
It will be nice. It will be nice, though, to have a
glorified practice before we play Alabama.
Exactly.
Which
at LSU, not the worst thing at LSU. Do you guys see? Maybe I just got to check again. But like right after the schedule was announced, you know, people were buying tickets and are getting the tickets they could and booking hotels. Some of those hotel rooms for the away games, absurdly priced.
Oh, for like OU away games this year?
OU away games, yeah. Like, seems like if you don't book when schedule releases, you're not going. Unless you're willing to drop a nice bag.
Sleep in your car. You can use your sunroof for a shower.
Oh, install a window. It's going down.
I do think we win tomorrow, Steven. I don't know about how much, but I do think we win.
So you're bought in on the program. If you think OU
I think UNC sucks. We're beating a bad
He did say he thinks UNC stinks. He did say that. What are you guys doing for the game tomorrow? Do you guys want to go somewhere and sit down and watch it?
At 8 o'clock? I'm like an old man. I don't know.
Oh, it was
bedtime.
It was just thrown out there, all right? You have to shit all over right away.
I'm negative right now, okay?
Well, we got to get a 2 Planes dinner together anyway at some point. So while Ho's in town, so I was thinking that was a good opportunity to, how do you say, kill 2 birds with 1 stone, or 2 stones with 1 bird?
Yeah, kill 2 stones with 1 word. Yeah.
Sure.
Your sunroof is a shower.
All right, yes. I think that was a good one. Do you have anything else to add? Do we want to take more questions?
Anything negative to say, Brum, before we hop off here?
I don't know. I'm working on trying to be more positive.
Say, don't subscribe. Don't like this video.
Don't watch this show. It absolutely sucks.
Yeah, would not recommend this show. Please go ahead and leave this video now at this point.
Watch this video today.
Don't watch this. No, Oklahoma will be fine. I think Oklahoma will beat Arizona in the bowl game next week. Definitely.
Can we get a cry down from you, Brum? I'm pretty sure.
Cry on.
Oh, cry on. I like it. All right, that's good.
Yeah. And I think Oklahoma will beat Arizona. And yeah, report for sure. I want all the dislikes. Please convert. No, I think Oklahoma will clean up in the transfer portal, and hopefully, if you guys don't sign tomorrow, and Oklahoma's got a shot, and make it happen. So, I think Oklahoma's going to be fine. And also, my recommendation, I think we have to, it feels like I do this every year, is all the rumors you hear on social media, on Twitter, not all of them are real. And remember to take it with a grain of salt.
Everything on the internet is real.
That's true.
Big facts.
It gets you in trouble.
Here we go. Shout out Jacob. Y'all planning on tailgating or anything for softball?
I'm down.
By then, would have loved to grab a beer with the boys.
Tailgating and grabbing a beer with the boys are some of my favorite things in the world.
Yeah, it is a good time.
I don't know. Jacob, I'm there. I will be there.
Do they tailgate softball games?
We can get Lieutenant Doctor. They have the whole thing now. They have what the hell is it called? There's a name for it.
Yeah, that helps.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Brum? Really you know what I figured Brum would know what I was talking about. They literally have a thing.
What are you talking? Are you talking about like a
for softball games where you can watch the games? You're not in the stadium.
Right behind you're talking about they put on
they have a thing. Yeah.
They put on the tailgating scene for them.
There's a name for it, though. There's an actual name for it.
And you just keep blurring out your whole face. Just go ahead, and it seems like every time you move, it's blurring everything out.
Jacob, home run village. See, I knew someone would have it. I figured you guys would have it because you're supposed to be Sooner fans.
Yeah.
When I blank,
you didn't know it either.
Well, I'm allowed to blank. I mean, we're all allowed to blank, but someone should have the answer. Well, there's 3 of us. Thank you, Keaton.
We're not collectively that smart if they haven't figured it out yet.
Right.
But Jacob, I think the short answer to your question is yes. Let's do it.
I don't know what I did there.
That is fantastic. Yeah, bro. How many softball games did we lose, Doctor?
Oh man. I mean, at least
the dynasty is over. It's done now.
It's over. Oklahoma, all they do is lose. They're no longer good in softball. Now ask me next week and I'll have a real answer.
We'll have a Kelly Maxwell playing this season, which I think is super funny.
Oh, that is true. I kind of forgot about that whole ordeal.
But yeah, let's also, like Keaton said, he paid $20 just to say he hates hose.
I mean,
shout out.
Yeah,
he's donated $120 in total to the show, and I think 2 comments were talking about how shitty Jose is.
Yeah, it happens. Beer or shot for every home run we hit.
Well, we got to stick to beer. If we do shots, we might be deceased.
I'll do a shot.
Yeah,
I'll do a shot. Definitely
gotta be beer.
Should we go to the Broken Arrows store here that Keaton said has Malort? Load up on some Malort shots and then do a shot of Malort per home run.
Oh my gosh, Malort! No, dude.
No, I'm not taking Malort shots.
Have you ever done one?
Doing that. Yeah,
me.
More than one.
No, I know you've played.
Yeah. No.
I figured you had hose, but I didn't know.
Yeah, you actually took the words right out of my mouth on that one, on that analysis and insight there. I think it's a big loss.
Forget that she left right after the national championship. For whatever reason, I thought we had already played a season without her.
No. I mean, it is a big loss, but this team is so good that it doesn't really matter.
I mean, it's the best player in the sport, and she's gone, and we're going to be just fine without her. You can't really do that in a lot of sports.
See you guys.
You guys just bullied Brum off the show. We got to clip that. That might be the best moment in Two Plane Sports history.
He's back.
I thought you were actually done. That would have been hilarious. How many people are still watching this shit show?
Almost 130 of them.
27.
I'm glad a lot of people got to watch that.
Yeah, I think people will appreciate that.
This is why you stick around to the end.
Oh. Yep. Well, I think that was a pretty solid show, boys. Eric said he's crying.
That was a good time.
This was a good show. If only they were all like this.
Tune in next week. Find out.
Yeah, we'll see how negative I am next week.
It'll be, bowl game preview week, so
maybe it'll switch to
like someone said earlier, it's going to be 51-21 Arizona, according to Brum. That's his pick.
I don't think we can guarantee a longest show ever this week.
Yeah, we've hit almost 2 hours before. I don't know if people want to continue just watching us stare at each other for 2 hours.
Maybe that could be a bet that I would gladly do if one of us loses, or it can be a bet. 2 losers have to do a 3-hour live stream.
Oh my gosh!
What are we gonna do for 3 hours? We're gonna have to bring out the liquor for that. If that happens,
Brum, I know you're a pardon my take guy. Did you see they had to do a 24-hour live stream? Kind of inspired by that, but there's no fucking way we're going for 24 hours. 3 hours seems enough.
Yeah.
Saving live on the show for charity.
If I lose a bet, that's when. Okay, if I lose a bet, the next bet we make, and if we have to do the 3-hour live stream, I would shave during that live stream.
I'll just make a bet that he has to lose then.
So
that doesn't count.
I mean,
do I prefer Lloyd Noble or to the Fieldhouse? Negative Ghost Rider. I think the Fieldhouse is awesome.
I wish I could have gone to that game.
Yeah, I do too. 24-hour live stream.
I don't think that's happening, but your 3 hours seems fair to start.
So if you lose a bet, is it just solo for
the two losers?
Oh, okay.
How'd you get balloons?
Brandon definitely did that again.
I have no idea how to do it. If I knew how to do that, I would do that over and over again. I lost privileges to type and shit because I would change your guys' name to nerds and stuff all the time. I'm not even signed in.
I don't know.
We had that happen last week too.
Yeah, I think it was you because it happened to Brum. It hasn't happened to you.
It wasn't me.
Yeah.
All right, we'll think of the bet. 2 losers, 3-hour live stream.
Ooh,
and if I happen to lose, I will shave during that time.
Damn it! Now Eric doesn't like me either. Brum, you're the only one somehow who survived without being disliked, even though you're the most negative one on the program.
But he doesn't like you enough to. He doesn't not like you enough to pay $20
to pay $20 to say he hates me. That's fair. He does hate you more, Hose.
Get on my level.
Give Brandon privileges again. How much money? Oh man, I don't know.
It wasn't us. He took his own privileges away.
He just felt like he wasn't worthy of it.
I grounded myself. Sometimes that's self-awareness.
Yep. Oh my gosh. Yeah, 3-hour live stream would be more than enough. Could you imagine if we try to put on a 24-hour live stream? That would be a punishment.
I agree, Jacob. Here. I swear, dude, the senior year of college, there was a dude that I had in class who was talking about the National Guard and stuff and how he liked it and how it's paying for his school and doing all this and that. And we were like, yeah, man, how'd you get into it? And he said, I got last place in fantasy football. So that's a real one. He got how in fantasy we try to do go to Waffle House and eat a bunch of pancakes, whatever. And in his league, the loser had to go to basic training. He had to enlist, and he did it.
Wow. Well,
at least he followed through.
Speaking of fantasy football, I saw a really funny punishment for last place is where everyone goes to the bowling alley and then the loser has to bowl a 300. But every beer that you drink is 10 points or 10 pins off, and every hot dog you eat is five pins off.
I think we should just do that anyway because that just sounds fun. I love the lanes.
So how would you attack that? I would think you'd have to probably go about 8 beers and about 4 hot dogs to start before you even attempt to bowl.
No,
right?
Is a beer
I can bowl
one pin?
No,
a beer is 10. If a beer is 10, and a hot dog is 5, I'll just drink 10 beers
down a 12 pack
and slam. I'll drink 10 beers and slam 2 dogs, and I'll be out in one game.
No, you're not bowling a 190 after 10 beers on your first game.
My career high is a 211. I got picks. At AIT, all I did on the weekends was go bowling.
Yeah, but you're not drinking a 10 and bowling a 190 on game 1.
Sometimes you play better when you're drunk. It's like beer pong.
I guess what is drunk, right?
What is drunk?
Anyway, this has gone off the rails. But
all right, boys. Great job today.
Great work. Yeah. I guess you could say that.
All right. Well, if you made it this far, you definitely need to like and subscribe. Honestly, probably the people that are watching are probably already subscribed, so I'm wasting my time here. But be sure to subscribe, turn the notification bell on, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Apple, Spotify, and TikTok. Everything's linked in the description below. Eric, we did it for you. Off the rails. Awesome. If you prefer that, we will continue this. So, best show